The walk starts at Tulloch station. I've now arrived at the 86 main road, and there's the road leading back to the station. That's the way I've just come. Now heading along the main road, approaching the turn to Fersit. Now heading along the main road, approaching the turn to Fersit. The walk now turns left along the road to the hamlet of Fersit. And there it is. Now on the road to Fersit, superb views ahead. The walk crosses the River Dearg in this fairly dramatic gorge. The road to Fersit goes past this small loch. That's the way ahead. Dramatic views of Munro from the road. Footpath signpost at Fersit. And a dial warning notice. Now crossing the West Highland Railway at Fersit. Now heading across the moors from Fersit, there is a view of Stobcourt Creek. Pretty tussocky ground. Now climbing the slopes of the mountain Chno Dearg. There are fantastic views looking back the way I've come. It's very hard going, tussocky and wet, but not overtly steep. Now looking ahead to Chno Dearg and fantastic views round to my left. Now heading up the very bouldery and very wet slopes of Chno Dearg. That means red nut or red hill in Gaelic, and yes, that is a patch of snow. That looks like the top of Chno Dearg, 1,046 metres above sea level, about 3,400 feet. There's a close-up of the summit cairn on a Chno Dearg, and of course the view is just staggering. I think that is Bidion Nam Bian in Glencoe. It's the highest mountain in Glencoe, if it is that. And I think that's a view of Ben Nevis, the highest peak in the British Isles, and one I climbed last year. There's quite a substantial plateau on the top of Chno Dearg, as you can see. Now starting to descend, there's a view of Fersit, where I'm heading back to. I've found a grassy trod with very few boulders, and it's a much easier way to descend, and it's easier than the way I went up. The only problem is I need to circumvent this patch of snow. There's a great view of Stobcourt Creek, also a Munro, but lower than Chno Dearg. Getting a little bit hazier now. Still descending to Fersit. By the way, that what looks on the right to be a clear path is actually the bed of a watercourse, and it's very wet. Looking back to Chno Dearg, if you're ascending from Fersit, when you get here, the easiest way up is where that patch of snow right on the left is. There's a grassy trod. That's the way I came down. I went up further to the right where it looked higher, and it was far more difficult. I'm now following the prominent burn down, which I said before wasn't a path, but there does seem to be a narrow path, which is a bit intermittent, a narrow path by the side of it. Still descending on the narrow path by the burn to Fersit, and there's the way ahead. You can see there's a path. Now right down, just listen to the burn. Now almost back at Fersit. Here's looking back to Chno Dearg, the mountain I've just climbed. Now back at Fersit, here's a large shed in the hamlet that I passed on the way out but didn't video. All that remains to complete the walk is to walk back to Tulloch station along the roads that were videoed in the first part of this video. I managed to get a lift into Fort William from other walkers whilst walking along the road back to Tulloch. So the walkers ended in the middle of that road, but here I am back at Fort William.